Hi guys, welcome back to the UK and Ireland tour. My name is Chris, aka Big Will, and today we have our transfer special for you and our first league game of the season against St Mirren at home. It's been a bit of a busier transfer window than I'd initially intended. We have seen a number of players leave, but we have managed to make some very good signings on top of that as well. Pre-season, as you can see, has gone pretty well. We have changed tactically ever so slightly as well, and overall, we're looking like a very good aggressive side. So tactically, we're still staying on a positive mentality for now, but in pre-season, this tactic has worked extremely well. So we've maintained the defensive sweeper keeper role. We've got a central defender on the cover mentality with two wider centre backs. So they're going to cover the lateral areas of the pitch when we are in possession. We're going for a half back at the base of the midfield. So when we have possession, he will then, well, when we lose possession, should I say, he will drop back and add the additional support in that defensive area. We've gone for two Mazzalas with the deep line playmaker. So obviously the playmaker is going to distribute the play from that central role. And the two Mazzalas will drift slightly out wide as well. And they could also help out in those wing back areas as well from a defensive perspective, as well as going forward. And we've got two inverted wingers this time. So again, they're going to be cutting inside and trying to get the ball in for a complete forward who is going to be up front. So it's a very strange looking formation, I am fully aware, but pre-season has dictated that it could be quite a good one for us. And we have played some pretty reasonable teams from across Europe, the likes of Lasker in the Austrian Premier Division. Obviously, Bolton are in the Championship. Huesca from the Spanish Second Division, still a reasonable side. Beerschot from the top division in Belgium. Jablonek from the Czech top division. And STVV again from the top division in Belgium as well. And again, we've had some very good results along the way. As the pre-season's gone on, we've looked a little bit strange defensively at times, but going forward, we have looked very dangerous, and that is something that we can certainly take as an advantage. So, with the game against St Mirren today, obviously, there's still a month left of the transfer window. We've got a Europa League playoff game in there as well. So, after this game and the transfer special, we'll probably get through most of August and then come back at the beginning of September to see if we've had any other transfer business. And obviously, it'll either be the first two league games there or hopefully a Europa League tie. With it being a playoff, if things don't go very well, we will drop down to the Conference League anyway. So hopefully we should still manage to get things done. And as I was saying about the transfer window, we're looking at loaning out a few players at the moment. Bakary Toure could be leaving the club for Sparta Prague. He is under transfer bid at the moment. I just noticed that we can sell some clauses and get a little bit of money in there, so we'll just get those in. and there's not masses going on really there in terms of the clauses, but we can be very pleased with our transfer business anyway so far. So we'll just kick it off down here. We confirmed a couple of signings in June. Jefferson Aguiar has come in from Junior in Colombia, just £1.7 million. He's worth nearly 20. He can play central midfield or on that right hand side. He's a very good player, plenty of technique and determination, good mental attributes, and very good technical ability as well. He's not the quickest, so he might suit him a little bit more to play in central midfield, but he's only 5'1", so he's going to have to put himself about a little bit to try and develop his game. Willie Peggy, we managed to bring in. We've loaned him back out to Wraith Rovers, in fact, the young Scottish centre back, 6'4". I think he's got plenty of potential. Again, valuation looking quite good. We signed him for 1.9 million. And Javier Granda, we brought in from Independiente Val. A 19-year-old Ecuadorian international centre back. Again, 6'4". He's a big lad. Decent physical attributes, good defensive attributes, though. And again, we're just exploring our options at the moment. And I don't think there was too many exits in there. So Willie Peggy obviously went back out on loan. Javier Granda also went back out on loan to Independiente del Val. Mohamed Diamande we ended up selling to Alvada in the UAE for £13 million. He's worth double that over there. But he was a little bit injury prone, and I think it was the right time to move him on. And he was interested in leaving. He wouldn't sign a new deal, so we got the £13 million for him. So from there, we've had a lot of players leave the club, £47 million into to the club and only £3 million spent since the start of July. So Max Johnston went to Austria Vienna for £5 million. He was a bit part player last year. And again, it's been very, very difficult for us to try and get that balance in the squad. Vuzi Swain has gone to Al Ettifaq for £4 million. Again, he's worth a lot more than that. But again, he wanted to leave and he wasn't getting the game time since we changed to this system. Dean Martin went to Derry City for £800,000. He was homegrown at club, so it will be a bit of a miss. But again, he wasn't getting a lot of game time, so it made sense to let him go. Luke Messon went to Nottingham Forest. I was a bit loath to get rid of him, to be honest. He is a very good left back, but he has left for £1 million. And Bui Kola to Vallecano for £400,000. Again, didn't really break into the side, unfortunately. Liam Morrison went to Mainz for £5 million. He didn't contribute to the homegrown in nation or at club, so we decided to let him go to Mainz in Germany. Again, he was a bit part player last year, didn't really get a lot of game time. The one that hurt a little bit was Ryan Phillips. He was determined to leave the club. We couldn't get him to sign a new deal, and he has gone to Burnley. Obviously, his valuation shot up because of the reputation of the Premier League. £8.5 million initially, with potential to rise by another £2 million. Kyle Dillon has gone out on loan to Dundee in the Championship, and Pedro Vargas was the latest one. Big player for us last year. He was wanted by a lot of big clubs. He has gone to Manchester City for £22.5 million. And in terms of confirmed deals coming in, we have done extremely well, I think, overall. So Will Lancashire came in from Tottenham, a free transfer, good amount of pace about him, good mental attributes, good technical attributes as well for the striker. He was capped formerly at under 20 level for England. And again, free transfer. If things don't work out, we will make profit on him anyway. The next two signings I'm particularly pleased with. Edgar Faken. What a player this lad could be. 6'2", Belgian international centre-back, 22 years of age. A really strong, no-nonsense centre-back. Plenty of pace and power about him. Good determination. Defensive attributes very strong as well. Really pleased to have got him in. And a legitimate wonder kid in Fawaz Al Muwallad, a Saudi Arabian international, 19 years of age. Again, what a good-looking player this guy is. He plays in central midfield or defensive midfield, can also play at centre-back as well. Plenty of cover. Again, good physical attributes, plenty of pace about him. Mental attributes, all very strong. He's a very good workhorse to have in that midfield. Good tackler and technique as well. And he's a very good header of the ball. So I think in that defensive midfield role, that could be where he makes his name. And obviously with the departure of Ryan Phillips, we needed some goalkeepers. So we've gotten a little bit more experienced in that role. Angus Gunn has come in on a free transfer, 39 caps for Scotland, 35 years of age. He doesn't contribute to homegrown in nation. He was of Manchester City's youth academy, so it's just nice to have a Scottish player in the squad. But his goalkeeping attributes remain very good, to be honest, and I think he will be fighting it out with our other goalkeeper, Jasper Torkildsen, for that number one spot. 27 years of age, Norwegian international. He's 6'5", as is Angus Gunn, so we've got two big boys in goal now. His character is excellent, to be honest, Jasper Torkildsen. Very good mental attributes for the most part, with his concentration, determination, leadership qualities, positioning, and vision with the passing side. His kicking and passing isn't actually that great, but his goalkeeping attributes are very good, and hopefully we will be stronger in that role, despite the fact that the star ratings dictate that they're not as good as Ryan Phillips. But I think from certain attributes wise, we're looking quite strong there. So it's been quiet overall in terms of the players that have come in, but the ones that have come in have got quality, especially the likes of Edgar Fakan and Fawaz Al Muwallad. Will Lancashire's got an element of quality as well, but obviously with Vasquez and Santa Maria in the squad, it could be a while before he breaks into the side. We have tried to sell one or two other players as well. In terms of the European squad registration, we've had to make some very tough decisions. I can't remember who it was I've left out now. Just bear me a second. It wasn't that long ago. So Angus Gunn doesn't make the European squad. We had to include Ewing because of the homegrown in nation. Livano Comenencia has only been at the club for 6 months. It's not really worked out for him. With the roles that he plays in, it's not really helping him develop his game. So he's a guy that we do want to leave, and if this upsets him, he will be transfer listed. Dario Priotti was another one. We're trying to sell him as well. Again, when he played, he didn't really push his way into the side. Kostin Bulai was the difficult one to leave out. I don't want to see him leave. He's a very good defender, but it could be a difficult one to sort out. Denilson Selemin is an impact sub. He's not got the squad status as of yet at the club, so he has missed out. And Bakary Toure, of course, is on his way out of the club anyway. So the last couple make sense. The biggest one from my point of view and the hardest one to leave out was Kostin Bulai. But defensively, we're looking very strong with the likes of Fakarayola, Stankovic, Rawdon and Welsh, who, again, he's homegrown in nation, so he had to be included. And Damien Rawdon, he was upset last year at being left out and he led a player mutiny. That is the last thing that we needed this year. But overall, I think we're pretty strong. Midfield-wise, we're looking quite good. Same up front. Santa Maria, we are looking at potentially selling as well, but we've had no interested parties, which is a bit of a shame. With us going back to one up front, it is going to be difficult to try and sort that out, but we'll see. Keep everything crossed, and it will determine how well the season goes, I would have thought. So going into this game, I expect, should I say, that we'll win this match. We're suggested to go attacking, and to be quite honest, I have been debating this. But if we go attacking, the fact that we've only got 3 players at the back could leave us wide open. But I think we'll do it. You know, we'll commit to it, at least for the first part of the season, and we'll see how we get on. We've got very good attacking talent. The midfield is very, very strong now this year, and defensively, I think we're looking strong as well. The only slight weakness, in my opinion, is probably the goalkeeper. But again, I still think we've strengthened in terms of experience in that role. So going into this game today, a number of debuts. Torkildsen will start in goal. Ron, Fakan and Stankovic are the back three, with Al Mualad just sitting in front of them. Aguiar, Gueye and Cresta are the midfield three, with Montano wide left, Labe wide right and Vasquez up front. Santa Maria does take his place on the bench. Lancashire, Selemin, Silla, Gunn and slight knocks for Dior, Oyola and Ewing. They are the ones missing out in the squad today. Priotti, like I say, is a guy that we are looking to move on. Likewise, Comenencia. I think, to be quite honest, because of that, we will just make those changes on the bench as well. And obviously, Kostin Bulai is not a guy that we do want to leave, but it is something that we may have to look into going forward. But we'll see how things go, and hopefully we can get off to a good start. Obviously, Strettengraf, he plays up front as well, but largely he's going to be involved in playing out wide, so we have got that extra cover there anyway. And we'll see how things go. So Torkildsen gets the number 15 shirt in goal. I know overall there's people out there that like to have set numbers for set players. I used to be like that, but in the end I just gave up with it. Damien Rawdon is our captain today. It's a big step up for him. So we're going to go out there with the attacking mentality and see how we get on. We should do well today. We've certainly got the better squad. And I think in going attacking, especially with the packed midfield and the quality we've got in there, I'm hoping that we can dictate games a lot better than we did at certain times of last season. And obviously the target this year is to get the job done. We want to win the league this year, but we need to prove ourselves against Celtic. Rangers, we know that we've beaten them a couple of times, and Aberdeen is the other difficult one to deal with as well for us a lot of the time. They are the targets for us. Here's Gueye into Montano. He's already on the yellow card, and Boyd easily taking it off him. Austin now to Fontana Rosa. Hamer couldn't beat Al Mualad, and that's a great pass from him. And Hector Vasquez has taken just 18 minutes to get off the mark. It's a lovely pass that from Al Mualad. It's an assist on his debut and a very positive start. We can be very pleased with that. Tried to play it out from the back, and of course, because we've packed that central area in midfield, we are hopefully going to crowd teams out. And with the quality we've got in there, I'm hoping we can create a lot of opportunities this year. Even as the Mazzalas, they're not dictated playmakers, but they all have that creative side to their game. So I'm hopeful that we can really push on this year. Here's Aguiar. You can tell he's only 5'1". He's absolutely tiny in the middle of the pitch there. It's fallen nicely here for him, and he plays it into Vazquez, and it is a good block by the defender. I was just thinking about this as well. It's the first time I think I've used a complete forward. I don't think it's something I've ever done tactically consistently, so it'll be interesting to see how well it works out. And a very poor corner kick there, and it's gone straight out for a goal kick. So it'll be interesting to see how Vazquez gets on in that complete forward role. Um, Obviously, we are attacking, we are leading and playing very good football at the minute. Possession-wise, we're looking good. But St Mirren have had a couple of chances themselves. So again, it's just something we've got to be a little bit cautious about. Because against better teams, they could take advantage of us leaving ourselves a little bit open. And here is Boyd with the throw. Into Brown, back into Boyd again. Trying to get into the penalty area, and he gets the shot away. I mean, he worked the opportunity quite well, but he fires it over the bar. And in the end, in terms of possession, we're looking very good. But in terms of the actual match chances, the XG is in our favour, obviously, because we've converted one of those chances. But in terms of attempts at goal, very, very even. So again, it's just something we've got to be a little bit careful of. We'll tell the lads not to get complacent. It's been a reasonable showing in the first half. It is a game that we would expect to win. But at the end of the day, you still have to go out there and get the job done. Here's Brown, back into Boyd, and now Hamer into Brown. Boyd again swings it into that far post, and Benjamin is there. And once again, Benjamin, I mean, he scored against us a number of times last year. St Mirren are a team that we struggled to seem to beat. We always seem to draw against them. It's been put in the end by Oru, and St Mirren have their leveller, and they have been the better side so far in this second half. We're going to demand more and try and really G the lads up. And I think, to be honest, we're going to have to make some changes. Montano is struggling, so Sretton, Graf, and Silla are going to come on because Labe's struggling as well. Aguiar's on a yellow card, so we'll take him off and bring on Suleiman. And we'll see how he gets on in that role. Is he better in that role? Not particularly. So we'll do things that way for now. And obviously we've got a couple of changes that we can make going forward as well. But ideally, this is a game that we should be winning. St Mirren are a team that we've drawn against many a time. We just really struggle to get the better of them. And Amari Benjamin up front tends to do quite well against it. We've offered some encouragement to the lads as well, but it's just not happening. And despite being attacking, we really have let ourselves down so far. We're going to demand more. And going into these last couple of minutes, St Mirren have ended up being the better side in terms of chance creation, which isn't ideal. And that is 2 points dropped on the opening day. It's a very disappointing result. We played really well overall, but to concede that many chances against a side of their quality isn't good. And this is why a lot of the time I stay on positive rather than going attacking, because it doesn't always work out. Yes, we didn't lose. And yes, overall, we were the better side, just. But yeah, it's not ideal. And overall, we're quite disappointed with that. Kilmarnock actually managed to beat Rangers away from home, which is a great result for them. But obviously, following that game, I mean, we play Celtic next, incidentally. But if Celtic win their opening match, then obviously we're already behind and playing catch up, which isn't great. I know it's only one game, but we know how dominant Celtic can be, and it's got to be something that we really need to sort out these games that we should be winning and get the 3 points each time. Because if we don't, we're never going to do this part of the save and win this league title, especially with Hibernian. There was plenty of positives in there, don't get me wrong, but overall, not a great result. And once again, our record against St Mirren continues to be a little bit poor. How are we doing time-wise? Yeah, we're just pushing on a little bit. I think what I'll do, actually, we'll come back for the Celtic match, and then we'll push on a little bit and then go from there. Obviously, we are pushing on a little bit time-wise, but it should be fine anyway. So we'll be back momentarily for the Celtic game away from home, and we'll see how we match up against them. Okay then, guys, here we go. It is that game away against Celtic. As you'd expect, they won on the opening day. They won by 3 goals to 1. Aberdeen topped the league after their win on the following day as well. They won 5-2 against St Johnstone. So going into this game, we know what we've got to do. We need to stem the flow here. We're going to maintain the attacking mentality because we've got the quality up front. Fawaz Al-Muwalad, unfortunately, is injured. He picked up a knock in training. They are recommending that we go back to a positive mentality. We did play well with it in pre-season, but whenever we've done that, positive mentality against Celtic, we do seem to just lack a little bit. But at the same time, again, it's going to be a difficult one. I think I'll try it for this one. If things don't work out again, because let's be honest, we were attacking against a poor St Mirren side, and it just didn't amount to anything. So yeah, we'll see how things go. Fingers crossed, we can get the job done. And I suppose if we're attacking, it at least shows that we've got confidence in our game. And they've it just said at the bottom there a potential title decider for the season. It's the second game of the campaign. I don't know where they've got that from. Um, Clearly, they're looking at optimism for the early part of the season. But possession-wise, we're dominating matters at the moment. Chance creation, very even. We've had the one attempt on target. No highlights at the moment, obviously. But we do go into one now. Here is Kelly. Lays it all the way back to Kovacevic in goal. And Celtic looking to build from the back. Here's Nubi into De Winter. And now Kelly into Buendia. Into De Winter. Now Kelly looks over the top for Stamanic. Lays it back again to Nubi. And now Edu Sanchez into Kelly. Into Carboni, and they found the space, and Buendia is in, and he lays it across to Bilo, and that is a very good save from Jesper Torkildsen. And we're very lucky there because they had 3 or 4 players forward to our 2 or 3 defenders, so we got away with that. Here's Edu Sanchez picking up on the rebound from the corner. Nothing comes of it, luckily, and it remains 0-0. If we can get a point here today, I'll be relatively pleased, but we need to be going out and winning. And Levy's in behind, and I don't know what that was. He laid it across, Nubi easily intercepting Aguiar into Montano, brought down by De Winter, and I thought it was a fair challenge. The ball certainly came away from play, and obviously the way the game dictates these penalties is a little bit odd based on the highlights, but yeah, correctly, I think that is a no penalty decision, and it was. So it remains 0-0. Here's Bester with a free kick, and Todd Kilton did well to get there. In fact, he tips it over the crossbar, and we may see the resulting corner here, and it's Bester again to take. Looks to whip it in toward that far post. We do well to get there, and it's ended up coming back, but we do manage to get it clear. And Stankovic now with the throw into Cresta, back to Stankovic, and now Labe. Chance to get it into the penalty area. Swings it in. Montano was there, but again, the ball is too close to the goalkeeper, and Kovacevic claims it with relative ease. And it remains once again 0-0, but he launches it forward, and the highlight does continue. Bester up against Stankovic. He did really well there. And now Cresta into Labe. Chance to get it into the penalty area, and he finds Sretton Graf. And that's an excellent finish. Very controlled finish from the Croatian striker. Come winger, come whatever he is. But I don't care. He's got his goal here, and we take the lead here at Celtic Park. It was very well worked in the end. Cresta laying it off to Labe, and he played a lovely ball in. It was a low, hard ball into penalty area. The defender just missed the interception, and Graf with the finish, and Kovacevic, he couldn't do a lot about it. He was wrong-footed with it, and we take a deserved lead in the end. It's been a very good first-half performance. We can be very pleased with that. Let's hope it continues. We'll tell the lads to keep it up. It's been a very good performance, like I say, but we've got a couple of yellow cards in there as well with Rawdon and Suleiman, and it is something I'm a little bit concerned about. Here's Buendia into Kelly. And now Nubi into De Winter. Lays it across to Edu Sanchez, where he couldn't quite get onto it. And now Bester into Bilo, and it's taken a huge deflection. And Bilo luckily was offside, but the deflection took it onto the inside of the post, and it went clear anyway, luckily. Currently staying at 1-0. We're approaching the hour mark. And with the yellow cards that we've got going on, we may look to make those changes now because it is just starting to push on a little bit. And I think it would be wise. Suleiman's had a decent game in there. Cheek Dior can come on. We've not really got an out-and-out halfback, but players will learn the role as they go on. Damien Rawdon can come off as well. And we'll get Costin Boulay on as that wide defender as well. And I think, to be honest, for the time being at least, we'll keep it as that because fitness-wise, we're looking quite strong as well. It's not ideal that we've had to change two of the defensive players. Um, yeah, Cheek Dior's tackling ability is quite strong, so we should be okay with that. And obviously, costing Bulai in there as that wide defender, plenty of pace about him. He's not the tallest, and he's not going to win many aerial battles, but hopefully he can come in and get the job done for us and just hold off. I think the wide centre back role might suit him. To be fair, it might suit Combinencio as well, but at the minute, they are players that could end up being quite unhappy. That's a great header! What a delivery from Labe from the corner, and Stankovic leaping like a salmon, nodding it into the bottom corner. It's a really, really good set piece, that, and we can be very pleased. It's 2-0 with 20 minutes to go. What a header from Stankovic. Kovacevic didn't really have any chance with it. And this is certainly, so far at least, given us cause for optimism. Here is Tapia, lays it back to Edu Sanchez, and now Stamanic gets it into the penalty. It's a great run from him, but the shot is poor, and Torkildsen just gets a grip of it quite comfortably. And we're just struggling fitness-wise with Montano and Labe again. That's a good effort from the set piece from Buendia, but it comes to nothing. And we will make those changes once again out wide. Actually got too many options out there, to be fair. Aguiar can go onto that right-hand side. We'll bring on Nathan Summers in that Mazzala role in midfield, see how he gets on with it. Because, again, I still really like him, but he's just not quite improving enough, but we haven't been able to play him enough, I suppose. Montano is going to come off as well for Priotti. And an opportunity for Priotti today, to be fair. Like I say, he is a player that I would definitely consider selling. He's really not hit any kind of a stride so far since his signing. But this is a huge result for us. As we go into added time, we are heading for 3 points here against Celtic. But they do have a set piece here with a couple of minutes to go. Buendia knocks it in, and Stamanic is there. And it's off the woodwork. Torkildsen couldn't quite get to it, but it has managed to be cleared. And we claim 3 points here at Celtic Park, and that is a massive, massive result for us. Labe with 2 assists there. The first one for Graf was excellent, and the set piece assist as well. Excellent, excellent stuff. That's a massive 3 points for us, and we are off and running now for the campaign. Obviously, as things stand, we go top, but Aberdeen and Kilmarnock, amongst others, do have games in hand. But that is a huge result. Fantastic stuff, and definitely cause for optimism. We'll stay on the attacking mentality for now, of course, seeing as though it's worked against the best team in the league. And hopefully we can develop it and make this our own. But the formation is something I've never even remotely looked at before, and it's quite an odd one. But after a result like that, certainly seems to be working. In terms of going forward, like I said to you before, we'll probably come back at the beginning of September. Obviously, if we can get through the Europa League playoff, there's going to be potential Europa League ties in there as well. So we'll probably come back for something like that. And in the meantime, we'll get through the rest of the transfer window and see what happens business-wise. So until next time, guys, thank you very much for your support. Please like, subscribe to the channel. It is all greatly appreciated. I will see you all next time. This is Big Will, signing away.